Okay, it's the day after Christmas, and I just got back from the store because we were running low on paper towels. And I don't know why I'm doing this. I guess it just seemed like it might be fun. And if you're watching it, it means it came out well enough that I was willing to post it. So on the left, you have Viva Vantage. Choose a sheet or pick a sheet. That means that there are half sheets that you can pull off instead of a full sheet. And on the right, you have the regular Viva pick a sheet. So in other words, the sheets are the same size as far as length and width. And there was a pretty big difference in price between the two of them. They're trying to, I guess, maybe to get people to get the new Vantage on the left, which is supposed to be stronger, and it's got all these ripples in it, which you can see, etc. I don't trust marketing, because marketing is there to try and get us to buy what they want, having nothing to do with reality. So, although I'm not going to test its strength, because I don't usually have, toilet paper falls apart, but paper towels that I usually get, and I usually use the regular Viva, they don't fall apart. They do what I want them to do. So the strength isn't important to me. What's very important to me is how much they absorb. And I figured, well, geez, that should be a really simple test. Which one absorbs more? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a sheet of each one in my stainless steel sink, cover them with water so that they're both totally soaked, and then I'm going to pick it up and hold it so that one edge is down and get almost all of the water that it can't hold to leak out. Maybe a little will still be leaking. And then I will squeeze it, what's left, the amount that it's actually holding, I will squeeze it into a graduated cylinder and see how much each one holds. So let's see. You may not be able to see my face during this, and let's see what we do. Let me get this set up first. Okay, so it doesn't matter which one we do first. So we'll take the Vantage and carefully pull off one sheet. Put that out of the way so we have one sheet of the rippled, or whatever you want to call it, textured Vantage. And let's put in my stainless steel sink. And just get it 100% wet. It is completely saturated. Since there's only one of me and I don't feel like taking the camera over back and forth, I'm not going to show you that. However, I will show you the sheet in a minute. And then we're going to take a small graduated cylinder. This is a 50 mil graduated cylinder. So we can put it on top of that. If I can make it too high, yeah. Let's see. Maybe we'll just leave it in the corner here. And that's going to fall over. This is going to be interesting. See what happens. No, you can't see it over there. Maybe I'll put it inside the sink. Okay, anyway. What do we have that I can do that on? Let me pause this. Alright, I found something that'll work. Okay, so let me pick up this soaking sheet. And we're just going to let it drain for a second. While we're letting it drain, I've got a cutting board that I'll put here, and then I can put a graduated cylinder here. This is still dripping, but it's barely dripping, so we're going to say that that's about as much as it can hold. I'm now going to put it inside this and squeeze it. Make sure I get any water off my fingers. Squeeze it as hard as I can, and I realize this is not a super technical experiment. If it was, I would have to put this in some sort of a press with a certain amount of weight on it. But meanwhile, that's now as much as I can get out of it. And if we take a look at this, see if I can move over to the camera. First of all, let me look at it. It's got get some of the bubbles off the top. 5, 10. It's got about 11.5 milliliters of water. Hopefully the camera can see that. That's about 11.5 mils of water. So that's the amount in the Viva Vantage. Now we will spill that out and empty the graduate cylinder and get any extra water out of the funnel. And now I'm going to take a sheet of the regular Viva. That one didn't tear perfectly, so it's not a perfect sheet. Can't use that. Let's make sure this tears correctly. It does. So now we have one sheet of the regular Viva that doesn't have all those little ripple marks in it. We'll put that in my stainless steel sink. Make sure that it is totally soaking as much water as it can possibly soak. And then we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to pick it up, put my board here while this is basically leaking, all the extra coming out of it. And it's still coming out at a pretty steady stream, so we're not going to start the test yet. Now, there we go. Now it's just dripping. Slow drips. The amount that it's holding is close to as much as it can hold. So again, we're going to grab the graduated cylinder and the funnel, both of which are empty. And I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did before. We're going to put this inside the funnel and squeeze it, get any water off my other hand, squeeze it as hard as I can, just as I did before, get as much in there as I'm able to. And when I take a look at this now, the non-Vantage, in other words the original Viva, has what looks like about 21 milliliters. And again, let's bring this up to the camera, and hopefully the camera will focus on it and you'll be able to see it has now got about 21 mils of water in it. I hope you could see the other one as well. This time I'm looking at the screen to make sure that you can see it. So in other words, the old Viva, even though they're the same size, length and width, holds a huge amount more water than this new one that they've introduced. So my guess is that there's therefore a lot more fiber. Let's see if we can raise this camera up so I'm talking to you and you're looking at me instead. Does that work? Nope, still can't see me. Let's bring it up a whole bunch more. Alright, so what that shows me is that the old or original Viva in the pick-a sheet, which is the smaller sheets, holds a tremendous amount more water than their new Vantage. And my guess is, which I didn't do, I could do that also, that if I weighed them on a gram or milligram scale, that I would find that the old one weighs a lot more per sheet, that's just a guess, and has a lot more fiber, a lot more paper, and therefore it holds a lot more, and that we're, as usual in marketing, being screwed by being directed to something which is not as good as the one that they were selling before, and they'll hope that they can get us all to get the new one, which is not able to hold anywhere near as much water. My name is David Getoff. I'm the Vice President of the Price Pottinger Nutrition Foundation in Lemon Grove, California. I'm a traditional naturopath and board-certified clinical nutritionist. And my website, easiest way to get there is David Getoff. And please spell Getoff the same way you would spell the two words, or you won't get there, davidgetoff.com. And thank you for looking at my silly little experiment the day after Christmas. Well, I decided to go ahead and do the second part of the experiment. So I'm in my kitchen. There's my O-House balance. Go triple beam trusty O-House balance, which used to use a lot back in chemistry class forever ago. Let's see, let's zoom in on the end of the balance beam so you can see that I have it adjusted pretty much dead on. It's a hair off, pretty much dead on zero. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'll start with the Vantage. Let me turn this screen over so I can see what the camera's seeing, and it's a little uneven. Let me balance that. Okay, so this is the Vantage. That's the one with all of the texture in it. That's the new one. See a little bit of crease in the middle because I had it folded up a minute ago to try this. We do that, we're going to fold it in half, and I'm going to put it on the scale, and we're going to move the 1/10 of a gram slider over there until we get it so we can see how much it weighs. Let's see here. That's 2 grams. That's 2.1 grams. That's 2.2 grams. Okay, so again, let me move this over just so you can all see it. So that's 1 sheet of the Viva Vantage. And again, that's where it should be, right on the mark. And what are we measuring? We're actually measuring 2.2 grams. All right, let's back this up. I'll take that sheet off. And here is one of the regular old Vivas that doesn't have all that crazy texture in it. Fold that in half. And let's go ahead and, just so people don't think I'm screwing anything up, let's zero this back out again, even though it's already zeroed. Just so you see that I'm starting in the same position. I'm not trying to fudge anything. That's not the purpose. So again, we're in the same place, just a hair off zero. So now we're going to go ahead and put the old Vantage in. These are just right off a new sheet of towels. They're totally new, totally dry. So we'll put one of those on there. And let's go ahead and move this over and see how much that one weighs. So there's the 2 grams. There's the 2.2 of the other one. Not enough. 2.3, 2.4, 2.5 and a half. Let me see when we get it right. That's pretty much on there. So this is just over 2.5 grams. And again, let's bring it in there. Oops, so you can see that that is proper. And then bring it over here so you can see that it's just over 2.5 grams. So it's actually quite a percentage heavier. I thought there was going to be more of a difference myself, but of course that's 1 sheet. And I don't remember how many sheets it says are on a roll. It could be 125, could be 180, whatever it is. That makes the roll having a much higher amount of fiber if the rolls were the same size. But again, that's not what's important to me. What's important to me is simply how much the actual sheets themselves absorb, because that's really what I'm using them for. How many do I need to absorb what I'm trying to absorb? So we just added that in here. So yes, the old Viva with the, should I put myself back on here again so you're looking at my silly face? Let's bring that down a little bit. Okay, so again, the original Viva, again in the pick-a-sheet type that has the smaller size sheets, weighs more and absorbs considerably more water per sheet than the new Vantage that they seem to be pushing on us. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed my little science experiment. Bye.